Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bruce War Chief Hoover.
Mark the Dwarf Kokiachik.
Chris the Enforcer Vasquez.
And Kyle Darth Cooch Kokenbecker.
And today we got ourselves some Tony Vetera Lukasic on board here again. Welcome back.
Hi guys, thanks for having me again.
No,
What did you call him?
I just go with his league name.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought you just said.
We couldn't figure out which one we were going to go with the first time we did this, so that's what we stuck with.
All right.
Cool.
Like, no one else knew it, just me. All right, I'll take it.
You don't count. How many times do we have to tell you this?
But I'm not the dwarf. I do count.
Yes, and the amount of food he eats, just not the important things.
Yeah.
All right, now how's everyone doing today?
I'm doing well.
You are?
Yeah.
Awesome. Chris?
That's new.
I'm doing okay.
Quiet. I'm doing well.
And
That's what I'm sticking with, damn it.
as the world burns around him, I'm doing awesome.
This is good.
This is fine.
This is fine. This is fine.
Kyle, how's everything going on your end?
It's going.
It's going?
Same shit, different day.
I'm freaking exhausted still. I mean, you feeling better from last week? Because if you
I slept.
like at least like 2 hours this week.
Yeah.
Is
There
that
you go.
better?
A little bit.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Tony, how you doing since the last time you were on here? Everything going well?
Sure, we'll go with that.
Everything going bad? I don't.
I'm good, man.
I'm like, all right. The mustache is gone now.
Yeah, I'm still not. I still don't know how I feel about that.
Bad drunken night, or just decided it was a good idea at one point or another.
Over trimmed it.
No, nothing like that. I was curious to see if I could pull off the look that I'm going for without it. And
You didn't just take the finger and put it across and be like, no.
I'm not gonna lie, I actually did do that. And
Just get some masking tape and
everyone, I don't know, everyone seems to like it better. To be honest, it was kind of annoying to have the mustache part, but I think I look way odd, but I don't know.
I mean, was it get annoying when your mustache was eating your food first? And
Oh
you're like,
my goodness,
no,
man.
it's mine.
It was terrible. Every
See,
time I drank anything, it
You guys,
sucks, man.
They look at it the wrong way. It's like I ate something, it gets stuck in there. I'm like done eating. I'm like, now what do I do?
snack for
Oh, there's more.
But wait, there's more.
Mustache food. All right, let me go ahead and just clear this out as well. When did this turkey breast get in?
goddamn squirrels. Get out of here.
All right. We were going to, well, Kyle, you said you had some news you wanted to bring forth to everyone before we start our main topic, which changed from what I said it was going to be last week.
Oh, yeah. So I was wondering where you were going with the main topic, and then I realized what we're actually supposed to be talking about
Yes.
today. So, Injustice 2,
Yes.
we've all seen it. They just came out with their Fighter Pack 3,
Oh.
yes.
which is Adam, Enchantress, two, mildly known DC characters in the lexicon,
Yeah.
and then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Not just one, but all four.
All four.
I quit.
They fight
I'm
as
done
one.
here.
They may fight as one. They haven't released any fighting
No.
on that yet. So they may fight as one, or you may, when you pick the person, you may get to pick which one you fight with. But your main question has to go around the lines of why?
Yeah, with the exception of money. Why?
The only thing I can come up with is that they have a comic book,
They do.
but I don't. But I still don't see the
They had
It's not a
connection.
DC comic book.
No,
and
it's
it's not
not.
like Mortal Kombat, which has already done crossovers, so they have all those skins and a basic backstory of how they got into the DC universe.
They're just thrown in there.
I was gonna say, you think about Hellboy for a minute. Hellboy's the same concept. Hellboy's still Image, if I'm correct. He was brought in. Cinnamon whiskey.
Cinnamon whiskey, yes.
Still gotta try that up there. Hellboy cinnamon whiskey on my shelf.
But Hellboy fits into the scheme of Injustice way more than the Turtles. Yeah.
I mean, I could. I mean,
They've had a lot of crossovers with Batman, so.
they did. Yeah, they did just do all those comics with the crossovers of the Justice League. Next thing you know, next Fighter Pack, Power Rangers. Let's do it.
Maybe that's why.
Looney Tunes.
They've already done crossovers with them too.
I know. That's what I'm saying. We're doing it.
It's gonna be Looney Tunes.
You know what? You know what? If we're going that route, fucking put in Scooby Doo.
Oh yeah, let's do it. I really want to see what was it for Looney Tunes? I want to see like a
Elmer Fudd.
Bugs Bunny versus the Joker.
That would actually be pretty good.
That would be great.
His ultra move is him turning into a woman and seducing you. He's more effective than Naruto. And what was the other one you wanted to bring up?
They just announced that Ryan Johnson, who's directing The Last Jedi, is getting tapped to write a new saga for Star Wars. Now, with that being said, where would you want them to place this saga? Before like the Skywalker saga, or do you want to go hundreds of years after to see like the ramifications of said saga?
I'd say let's go like Yoda time period, like when Yoda was a Padawan. Let's see how that goes. I don't want a standalone movie. I want like, hey, what other family fucked up the universe?
So like about not even 900 years, but relatively like close to that time timeline? Like in the past?
Yes.
Before all the...
Unless Yoda becomes a Padawan in the future, yes, let's go in the past.
Who knows what that man can do or what that being can do with the Force?
You don't know.
Let's do it with the Force. Let's do a trilogy on the Force ghosts. Let's just hang out with them. See how they're doing.
God, they hate Anakin.
The younglings are like, hey, we're bringing your dad to work day. And next thing you know, like Anakin showing up. How's everyone doing? Oh, my bad. I shouldn't be here today.
They weren't strong enough to create Force ghosts.
Oh, man. What about you, Tony? You're a Star Wars fan, like to an extent. I don't know how much. I never asked. Where would you like to see the series go?
Well, I mean, if they did Yoda as a Padawan, wouldn't that be like 1,000 years in the past?
He was like 930 when he died.
Yeah,
he was up there. I mean,
I was gonna say,
wasn't he supposed
old.
to be like a lot bigger and then he shrunk over time too? I think that was part of his breed.
We'll
that they
find out
described.
because I'm pretty sure they're working on a script for a Yoda origin
Standalone?
story.
Yeah.
Something like that would be pretty cool to see. I mean, how the Republic and the Jedi Knights were formed as a whole would be kind of cool to see. I don't know. It doesn't matter. What was that N64 game that came out? Shadows of the Empire, I think.
Oh, I think that's what you're talking about. I can't remember.
That wouldn't be good. That wouldn't be bad. Something like that.
Something
that was a
crazy.
really good storyline. I remember enjoying playing through that game.
Or do we want to? Would you guys want them to keep following this dysfunctional family that is the Skywalkers that continuously screw up the galaxy?
I think we focus too much on them. I think we need to like pull away and just kind of go off somewhere else right now.
Chris?
I wouldn't mind like the Mandalorian Wars or like the birth of the Sith Order.
Yeah, that
something along those lines.
That would be pretty cool to see too.
See the first Jedi that decided to put on black makeup and be moody. That would be interesting.
To see
the first emo.
Yeah, to see the first Sith become
The galaxy's
Sith.
first emo. Chris, what about you? What are you thinking?
Honestly, nothing really. I don't know that much about Star Wars, just from what I see in the movies, and so far it's just all been, I really care less where you go. Let's just make it interesting.
And that's my idea was crazy, but it would be a standalone, but could turn into more than one. Would be like, let's stop doing this from the Jedi perspective. Jedi perspective, meh. I want the grizzled war veteran, the clone that made it out, the clone that's still alive, sitting in a bar. I'm talking about he's from like the Republic way back in the day, like Luke, like Anakin just got his start. This guy was like one of those first batch people, and he's sitting in a bar, and like the First Order guy comes in.
Mos Eisley.
Yeah, the First Order guy comes in. Man, what a day! What a day! You don't know about days. Let me tell you about the Jedi at the beginning. And he's like, he starts telling war stories from the perspective of a clone trooper that somehow made it into a stormtrooper that passed all the exams, and now he's just retired.
When did Batman become a stormtrooper?
If I have a Batman voice, I'll take it.
I mean, wouldn't that just be Jango Fett?
No. He went a little
Jango
crazy.
died.
He lost his head.
Oh,
But I mean,
When we need a soundboard so you can just press a button for that rim shot.
there we go. But no, like Jango Fett would make Boba Fett telling the stories like, let me tell you about the fucking Skywalkers
Let me tell you about the time I fell into the Sarlacc.
twice. He fell into the Sarlacc twice.
On fire.
Come on.
on fire. With poison in
And
his
it's not
veins.
like the Sarlacc moves, okay?
No.
he is an elite bounty hunter that keep him away from holes in the ground, because fuck that.
With a jetpack.
With a jet. How do you screw that up? You know, the jetpack has been the death of him and his father at that point, I feel. Couldn't
But
he-
he's getting a standalone too, so.
Oh, of course. No, like less screen time, one of the most popular characters. Makes sense. I'll take it, Anything else anyone want to touch on before we do this? Wow, got really fucking quiet.
That was really the only thing I really had. I mean, we got Punisher and Justice League next week.
Yay! Okay, yay for Punisher. I'm not really so yay for Justice League.
Yeah.
I mean,
Go Aquaman.
Justice. Yeah, you know
Go
what?
Aquaman!
Hey, and here's the thing about that. Like, we are very like down on this whole idea, but it may turn out to be fantastic. It could. You know what? I give them hope. So for hope, I write a giant S in the sky. You know.
Also, it's better to no hope, I guess.
You did just trigger the last thing I remembered.
Oh, go ahead.
So talks between
Trigger
Disney
warning.
and Fox are not done.
Yeah, I was happy about that.
It doesn't look like they're going to be buying like the majority stock of Fox, so they control them and can just kill everything Fox has ever done. But
It'd
it
be
does
nice.
look like they're trying to buy their properties just outright.
Okay.
That'd be nice.
Just all the Marvel stuff, huh?
Yeah, that means X-Men would
Any
come
property
back
they
into
want.
that.
Oh, anything they want. Oh, okay.
That means we'd get X-Men back
X-Men.
X-Men back in there.
Fantastic Four.
Can we talk to Sony now? Grab their stuff too.
So they already have a working deal with Sony.
I know, but I mean, we don't need to work. Can we talk to Universal and get like Planet Hulk and like actually do a Planet Hulk movie now?
Do we want to with how their trajectory that Marvel is going with their movies?
Standalone. Planet Hulk movie.
Disney won't do that.
I know. I mean, yeah, that'd be cool. Like I posted something about it before, and then we put it down because the talks ended by the time I posted it, and now we're really hoping that they pull like
About 10 minutes after you posted, actually.
Oh. I posted. Talks are done. Talks are finished. All right. Trying to think, did I have anything crazy we to talk about other than that? Nope. All right.
No.
Sounds good. Besides the Warcraft expansions are coming out. That's gonna be. They look fun. They're going back to the original Let's Kill 'em idea. I think I brought that up. No, I brought that up last week. Never mind.
Yep, you did.
They did start introducing the, not level modding, but the lower levels for any area you go
Oh,
into.
yeah, that
so
was-
they've already started that.
Oh, I gotta check that out then, because you can level anywhere. That'd be great. Because there's so
Yeah.
many zones I passed up that I wouldn't mind going to check out again. I just completely skipped. All right, so we were going to do some character introductions now. That's going to change. We may be doing those in the near future. Me, Kyle, Chris, Mark, Bertie, my mom. We all went and then Tony, at a later time, went and saw
Thor and the Techno-Colored Hammer.
Thor Ragnarok. Now, everyone has their own opinions on it, and it's going to probably get heated, and it's going to be a really long, lengthy discussion. I hope everyone brought something to drink. I hope you used your bathroom breaks. This is going to be a minute. It came out. It was supposed to be Thor. It was supposed to be a mixture of Thor Ragnarok and as much of Planet Hulk they could do without getting sued by Universal, which was, for anybody who knows Planet Hulk, was not enough. Like, I get what you were trying to do. You stole like the ideas for their costumes, and you still called it Sakaar. I wonder how they got away with it calling it Sakaar without that being a problem.
I have no idea.
It was and it had Jeff Goldblum in it, who did Grandmaster versus the Red King in that situation. Sakaar was a dumpster planet versus a barren desert.
Drop something.
I know I did. It hurt my finger while I was doing it. Okay, so just rolling as I talk. But go. I say at this point, just go see it. You're going to have your own opinion on it, and you're either going to love it, hate it, or despise it. I didn't like it, but everyone's sick of hearing Bruce talk. I'm just going to go around the table and let everyone else talk this time. Mark, you're to my right. Go.
Well, we'll start with the guest.
Tony.
I feel like I should be last.
That was my theory in this whole situation, but
Well, I feel
apparently
he has
everyone else tells me to go to hell.
I feel he has a different opinion than the rest of the cast, so
I know
Hence,
that's
I
what
should be last.
That's why he should be last. So we could, well, unless he's being, we're not going to be debating like what was all so sucky about it. I just want everyone's opinions, and then it'll break out into a debate at the end.
Okay. Well, okay. So, in my opinion,
Go ahead.
I did not like it. It felt too much like Teen Titans Go. I'm gonna go with that for right now.
that's fair. That's,
Yeah.
that's a good way of putting
Okay,
it.
that was such deep insight. I'm going to ask you to do something. It's called elaboration.
This is a long form discussion.
This isn't a discussion board on Blackboard at college where you can leave a 3-line thing and say, I agree or disagree with somebody.
We're not soundbite media here.
Okay, fine. There was too much comedy, not enough seriousness. Even when there was supposed to be a serious moment, they broke it with comedy. And so I thought about it and I go, this is exactly what happened to Teen Titans when Teen Titans Go was created. They took away all the serious moments and then just broke it down with comedy because apparently that's what people feel they need in the world. Okay. Okay.
You seemed a lot more red in the face when we left the theater.
I have been allowing this to fester since Tuesday.
Okay, then. Let it come out now. You have an open forum. I feel like Jerry Springer right now. Just like, we're going to fight here. Come on.
How'd you feel about the Norse aspect?
Gosh!
There we go.
Fuck!
Come on. Then fucking say it.
Okay, look. You cannot compare Norse mythology to the comic books because they have their own story arc. If you try to put Norse mythology, the actual history behind it, into this, you are going to immediately get pissed off. In comic book world, sure, you can probably get away with Hela being Odin's daughter. Sure, but actually in the comic book, though, she was never Odin's daughter. She was Loki's daughter, even in the comic books. The whole Ragnarok thing, there was nothing Ragnarok about it at all. Nothing compared to the actual comic books. There was nothing there.
Hell destroying the hammer. That was there.
That was there, but everything else just kind of flopped out. There was nothing major close to the most brooding comic strip for Thor, where, oh my God, I have just lost everything, and this sucks. No, that's not what this movie did. This movie just made it go, oh, I lost my hammer. I'm sad now. It sounds like you had a really romantic relationship with his hammer. That was a very nice thing for you to say. Fuck!
All right. I have a feeling you're just going to piggyback on a lot of other people are going to say, so I'm going to let that one go for a moment and just let you breathe.
Okay.
And let you think. Kyle, if you would like to pick up what he was attempting to say.
So I'm going to start off with touch gives you strength.
We're back here again.
Oh, we are, because Asgard is not a place, it's people.
Okay.
Oh, shit, that's right.
But the same thing with Civil War, the same thing with the Mandarin and the Ten Rings for Iron Man. They should not have named this Ragnarok. You name it Ragnarok, and your diehard fans are coming in with a perceived notion of what this movie should be and what they're expecting it to be. When really, we got Planet Hulk-ish with about 20 minutes of a Thor story. It's just... comic book movies are no longer made for people like us. They're made for the common fan. They're turning it all into comedy, really. And it's just diverting so much that, I mean, it's money. And that's the real reason why they're doing this all.
We'll say DC went too dark and brooding while
Marvel's going too light and Disney.
Yeah, the mouse speaks.
Yeah, the mouse speaks.
I see. Me and Tony had just a small discussion about that last night, and he made the point of that if you go into it expecting 100% full comics, you're an idiot. If you go in expecting 100% full Norse mythology, you're an idiot. My only retort to that still goes to, I was going in expecting 25%, and I got maybe 5, and that killed it for
If
me.
that, I mean, at no time during that entire story did I feel any of the heroes were in any type of just. You knew they were going to win. There was no peril. At no time did I feel like there was any fight for anything.
Chris?
I hate Marvel more so than I usually do right now
Okay.
because they destroyed the Planet Hulk storyline practically with everything they used. That it was just so god awful. The characters they used, they really just decided we're gonna twist this and make it stupid. On top of that, you didn't even count half the characters that are actually in the Planet Hulk movie.
Mm-hmm.
I was pissed off at the nameless Valkyrie.
Valkyrie, yes.
I was really pissed off about that because she literally served no purpose.
What was her? Well, who was she supposed to be?
If I had to guess from the way that movie ran,
What was her name? She was supposed to be playing the woman with the old strong powers from the Planet Hulk movie. That was supposed to be her.
Kyara.
Kyara, yes. She was supposed to be her.
Then yeah, that was a fail.
Well, I mean, no, the picture, like me and Kyle went back and watched the Planet Hulk movie just like here, bits and pieces the other
Yeah.
day. I mean, like visually, tanned woman, markings on the face. You just threw her in Asgard versus giving her the power, taking away us having any form version of having Scar ever pop up in the MCU because that would require Hulk to bang her and leave her there after she gets blown up with a really neat storyline. But like all that hopes is gone. That's pretty much that was
Yeah.
dream shattering right there. Wow. Okay.
The after credit scene was just garbage.
Agreed.
Not the first one, the 10-minute one.
The wait we 10
The one
minutes for
we
the
had to wait 10
Grandmaster.
minutes for. Yeah.
You can't do a rebellion without, you know,
Oh,
someone
right.
to
rebel
rebel
against.
Someone to rebel against. So let's give us ourselves a pat on the back. You know, just yeah, good job, everyone. Good job. Good rebellion.
God damn it, Jeff Goldblum.
You gotta love Jeff Goldblum, though.
Jeff Goldblum's acting for what he was given was good.
Yeah.
I give him that. They said you're going to be a DJ arena master. Okay, I mean I'm going to roll with it.
So Matt Damon started the movie.
Yes. Yes.
Matt Damon. Wow. Okay, that was awesome. That scene I liked. I liked a good portion of the first half of this film. I'll be honest. I liked the Doctor Strange moment.
Yes.
The Doctor Strange
All right.
trip through the house was awesome. All right, that was because that seems like something like Dickhead Strange would do.
I just want to see now Dickhead Strange with Dickhead Stark.
It would be great. That's going to be awesome in Infinity Wars. I'm happy for that because I have Agamotto, yada yada. Can't have a Avengers movie without Tony. So that part I liked. I did enjoy the comedy where, like, he was like, the sun's going down. And literally he reached out to the Hulk. The Hulk grabbed his leg and slammed him around. And Loki just jumps up. That's how it feels. I'm like, perfect. You know what? that went spot on. The rest of the time during that fight scene where he's walking up to him, I told him we were friends. You're making me look like, I'm like, no, come on, make this is supposed to be like a serious fight between the two. I can see you pleading for him to be your friend, but scolding him mid-fight? Come on. I'm not a fan of that. I like the fact that you got your lightning powers in the middle of that. Fine. You know what? If I'm not allowed to say that the lightning's in the hammer because that's the way the comics roll it, then fine. I'll move off on that.
He's now Raiden.
He is Raiden. Because of the comics, it literally is Thor Thor does not actually have power of lightning. He does not. The hammer does. It was when it was forged into the dying heart of a star. It had the ability to control a calamity storm, and that's what gave him. And nothing in any of the other Thor formulas gave you the idea that it was none the wiser. It was just that was it. It was the hammer. Enjoy. Fine. Hell, comic books. He loses the hammer to Jane Foster. Jane Foster gets the lightning. He's still the Odin's son, so he's still super powerful. Loses an arm and starts running around with an axe. And his pet. His pet goats, I think it was.
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
He runs around on
probably.
goats. Fucking love those guys. It was adorable.
So he's God of Thunder, whatever.
But can we get to that part first?
Has the thing in his neck that shocks him. How is that bringing him down?
Yeah. Because it looked like that was more blue going into him. I had no idea about that. You know what he's talking about? How like his face started turning blue. My thing was with like the hypocrite of Odin. There, Thor 1. We are not gods. We live. We grow old. We die. We are not gods. Thor 3. You're the god of what again? Hold on. Wait a minute. I remember specifically you telling everyone we're not gods, but now we're gods. Make up your mind, old man. So now he's going senile in his old age, I believe, at this point. For the Planet Hulk problems, Kron.
God.
Yeah.
Kron, the audacity of the director going, I want to be in a Marvel movie and putting himself in and not making it like a background character. No, I got to make it someone who's going to actually have screen time and lines. I wouldn't do that to myself. That personally, that's just my thing. If I was casted, maybe, but like I'm the director. I could pick anyone to pick that role. And then you make the character who's supposed to be this world overtaking individual. Like their whole thing was like, we're honor bound, we're brothers, we're going to go take over planets. Into hey guys, want to start a rebellion? How you doing? Anyone feel like you want to go with us? We're going to start a rebellion.
Yeah.
Are you pooping or is that are those eggs coming out of you right now?
Completely feminized him.
Goodbye, Doug. Goodbye, other Doug. I'm like, oh my God, I can't. Like, this is not who. And then there's Meek, who's supposed to be the native of the planet. The natives, who are bugs at that point, before the Red King's supposed to come down. Which, you know what? I looked at him, I'm like, okay, I can still take Meek if Meek's a little bitch. No, Meek's supposed to be a badass warrior inside of like a bug, inside of a robot suit with blades on his arms. I'm like, Meek killed the Hulk's wife in the story at one point even. I will take the Kira, or what her name was, the change, because we have to move it towards Ragnarok, because we can't. It's not a Planet Cult movie; it's a Thor movie, and putting her towards Valkyrie. I'll take that. The fact that she's a PTSD alcoholic seems right up there. Does not seem like out of character when it comes to most, like, you know, Asgardians as a whole. So her being a drunkard, I'll take it. Makes sense. I mean, the rest of it, it was like, to me, it was just... I mean, Thor's a horrible person just in general. Thor's just a bad person.
True story.
Bruce Banner. It's like, oh, we were friends, Banner. We were friends. And I understand that you could totally lose yourself. But I need you to take that risk for me. Wait, what? Hold on. I just fucking told you. Yeah, but... I'm like, no, fuck you. I'll be like, fuck you. I'm really not helping you.
I mean, to save his entire world. And
Yes,
all his
but
people,
to completely sacrifice myself away from something that I don't want to be anymore. Before, when me and when he goes, if he would have said, hey, me and the Hulk are still one, I can still like keep that connection, fine. But for the last 2 years of my life, I have been flying backseat to somebody who's kept me inside my head, and the chances of me ever coming back again if I transform is gone. I would lose myself completely and my life. And you're asking me to sacrifice myself to do it, and that's all you seem to care about. You don't even, at that point, you don't understand that I'm having a freak out, and you're still telling me that I need you to transform, like, right then and there. Like, give me a moment to cope with where the hell we're at.
But he did it for a woman.
After that explanation, Thor agreed with him, though.
No, he still told him to do it.
It's not like he was punching him in the face trying to get him to turn. He was like, fine, just help me as Banner. I just need help. So, I mean, that's... I don't know. I feel like you're reading way too much into it. They ultimately went that path. They didn't force him to do anything. He asked him. He said no. Okay.
No. He really did start picking at it. Like, he literally just kept going. Yeah, but your like 7 PhDs don't help in this fight.
Really picking at it for a 30-second conversation. How much are you going to really pick at it? I mean,
we have a podcast. That's kind of our thing.
No, I'm saying in Thor's 30-second conversation, how much could he have picked at it in 30 seconds? I mean, he asked him, he said no. He asked him, pretty please. He said no, and okay, fine. Just help me as Banner. That's pretty much what the conversation was. I mean,
at that point, it's like, okay, he didn't even take. But here's the thing: he didn't even take into consideration the fact that he could lose himself. He's like, because even Banner turned to him and said, "I just told you this," and he goes, "Yes, but the green one's better at fighting enemies." And I'm like,
you were worried about losing your entire planet and all the people that you are responsible for as king, what would you be thinking about?
It's not really a planet, it's a realm. It's kind of a
but
difference.
the realm, yeah,
okay.
But the point.
I get the point.
At that point, if you're saying, okay, I'm going to lose you as a person, then make your own choice at this point. I can't force you because you're not one of my people.
And he didn't. He asked him, he said no. Okay, moving on.
Even after you said that, I still would have let it go. Like, I would have, if you would have told me, okay, you're going to lose yourself, it's called, like, to me, it's just like that. He didn't even bring that into consideration into his mind until Banner had to tell him no like 2 or 3 times in that short time.
Okay, and then he said, fine, you're right. He settled down. When you have something that monumental in your mind, it's not uncommon for anyone to ask the same, are you sure you can't do it? I mean, please, can you help me? I could really use the help. I mean, it's something that big and that significant. I feel like a lot of the writing, you guys don't seem to like it, but I think that they made it work in the aspect of, what would you do? How would they made it real? They made it how real people would act, real people would behave.
Yeah, but Thor's a freaking super being
who's also been spending the last 5 years around humans, and it says Banner's his best friend.
Yeah,
Stark.
he feels for humans, but he always feels a disconnection from them at the same time, because he understands that it's not his world. He wants it to become his world, but it's not his world.
Which Thor are you speaking about?
I'm talking about the actual Thor, not the stupid movie Thor, because that is not Thor at all.
But here's the thing: unfortunately, you got to play from the stupid movie Thor.
This wasn't even Thor. This was a fucking man-child who sits there. He goes like, "Oh yeah, we got into a fight. Oh yeah, who won? Oh, I did. Huh? Really? Huh? I don't really see it that way.
I mean,
no, I totally
easily get over it.
Well, to be honest, that actually does track with what the Norse mythology puts out there. Thor's personality. That totally tracks. In the house with the giant drinking the ale. Come on.
Okay, quit
When you're
yelling
talking
like a fucking kid.
When you're talking about the 3 challenges that Thor went out, his reactions were exactly like that in those stories. Furthermore, we're watching this movie, so you got to go with what Thor is like as a character from these movies. And I was mentioning this last night. He starts out as kind of what you would imagine Thor would talk like and act like if he's from Asgard. You know, he had that older way of talking and behaving, and he comes down to Earth and he meets Jane Foster and them, and he's still talking that way, and they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And over time, he spends a lot of time with humans. He develops a relationship with Jane Foster. He develops friendships with the humans, and you can see over time through Thor 2 and both Avengers movies, you see him progress as a character, and just kind of his personality shifts, and the way he talks even changes. So this Thor that they put in Ragnarok follows. It tracks with what they've been doing with the character since they started.
He downgraded. Whether
you like the character, what Tony's saying is that the character makes sense. What you're saying is you don't like the character.
No, the character doesn't make sense. He downgraded because from what happened was this. He went from I'm immature from the very first Thor movie to I now understand what it means to practice humility and show, respect to others because I was being stupid and a child.
All because of the hammer.
All because of the hammer, yeah. Then, he's still maturing and he's trying to take responsibility for things and save the people of Midgard. And he's like, okay, well, this is my responsibility. This is the oath I've taken, and this is how I'm going to live my life now. Then at some point, yes, he goes, well, I have to go because I've seen things and something big's going to happen to my world, so I have to go figure this out. So he left Midgard and traveled the other 9 realms to find answers. He was nowhere near people for a long time, and he somehow reverted back to the original Thor from the first movie as a freaking man-child. And then, yeah, sure, he's like, oh yeah, I have experience. I got experience. It's cool, so I'm going to mature here a little bit. But then he's like, oh, well, no, I like you better. Screw that weak little Bruce. No, Bruce, I like you better. That Hulk's just too crazy, man. Oh, it's like, wait, that's not how you treat your friends. That's not how you treat your friends at all.
That's more manipulation than anything.
It was. He was so manipulative. I go, how the hell did you go from that to manipulation? Yeah, I get the fact you're trying to save, your world, but seriously, man, come on.
Go ahead.
I mean, that's pretty much it. He's trying to save his entire. How would you do it? I mean, not only that, but you're talking to Bruce Banner, who is the Hulk, is one of the strongest guys in the universe.
I wouldn't lie to my friends to ask for help. I wouldn't lie to him like that. Not like, Bruce. Hey man, you know what? I like you better than your alter ego. But then when your alter ego comes out, no, I like your alter ego better than your real self.
He just calling him manipulative cunt.
Well, sure, no, I get that, but like, also, how would you talk to that person who can just destroy everything in a blink of an eye?
But you just thought to yourself that you could beat him, so talk to him any which way you like.
Is that a fight you want to have?
Thanos like that. I mean Thor, but according to Thor's personality traits, yes.
Yes.
My problem with Thor was like you're talking about how like he does it. There's no form of depression on that guy through this whole film, like at all. You're talking about how he's got to go save his planet, right? Okay, makes sense. He lost his hammer, which apparently is just I lost my hammer. That happened.
Like yesterday, it was pretty fresh.
Whatever. Whatever. I lost my dad. That's the thing. Literally zero.
I mean, he showed an immense amount of anger when Odin kind of pulled his Obi-Wan Kenobi thing.
Wait, which part? The very like when they were in Norway and had to reshoot that scene because it was way too sad for the director's taste.
It's true.
Yeah, whatever they decided to do. No, I'm talking about the beginning of the movie.
Oh, beginning. I thought you were talking about the other one. Oh,
I mean, he went on a rampage against Loki.
He never touched him. He didn't have a second to do it. It was like he never coped.
He
with
displayed a ton of anger, and when Loki came to talk to him, he
threw rocks at him. And
I know.
just threw rocks at him.
It was great.
I'm like, he didn't feel any form.
He refused to talk to him because he was pissed off at his brother. That's showing emotion. That's showing anger.
I mean, he didn't know. To me, that was he still just didn't care. To me, on his face, I just didn't read anything at that point.
Even the death.
He was still treating it like a child. I'm just gonna throw these little rocks at you this whole time.
And what made it more pissed off for me was that the death of the Heroes 3. Like it was
Two?
or the Heroes 2. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Where is Sith?
No, there was 3. There was the
Heroes
fat,
3.
There was the fat one who's currently the Thor, the badass War Thor in the comics. Found that out not too long ago.
Shazam.
Then there's the one that's been replaced 2 or 3 times, the mustached fencer.
Yeah.
He's been replaced in the movies twice so far. And then there was the Asian one that Thor left stay on his own planet, that he came back to pay that debt to protect Ragnarok, that all 3 of them just died. Where's Sif?
I don't know where Sif is. Anyway,
last Sith was seen was with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
But that's not canon.
Midgar.
because
It is. They've said that it's part of the MCU.
But I thought that Joss Whedon said it wasn't because...
Joss Whedon said it wasn't canon, but apparently Joss Whedon doesn't count. So
the show has basically said it's canon.
So Philip Coulson's back for real.
Yes, but none of the Avengers know, and they're not allowed to know. There's a good chance he'll show up in the heist movie.
Okay, but Tony, what did you like about the film versus fighting against Mark's dwarven rage?
To be honest with you, there was a lot I liked about this film. I think, in my opinion, this was the best Marvel movie they've put out. Period. It was incredibly well done. The music was great. The scripting I thought was great. The comedy was really well done. I was really concerned that they were going to go Guardians of the Galaxy 2 on this one and force the comedy in there too hard, and they were just kind of going to sell out for it and push it where it doesn't make sense and push it in ways that it doesn't make sense, and characters aren't going to act the way they should to push the comedy in there. And I don't think they did that at all. They made a lot of funny moments in there. They made a lot of funny quips, and I think they wrote it in very well. Like when Thor was being ridiculous and kept going, "The sun is going down. The sun is going down." Even Banner turned to him like, "Shut the fuck up! Like stop!" You know. They had the characters supporting the comedy in the fashion that it actually was realistic. It fit real world scenarios, and it fit the characters how they act. So I didn't really have a problem with it. As long as it's well done like that, then I don't have a problem if you're gonna make a movie just funny the whole way through. You know, they did a great job of kind of leaving you with cliffhangers, questions on why the hell is he there? How the hell did this happen? When did that happen? Things like that. Some of it they would explain right away. Some of it they made you wait like a good 20, 25 minutes for. They wouldn't give you the explanation right away, or they would tease you with it. But they ultimately did explain everything that needed to be explained, so in order for you to understand the movie and track with it. So that mystery aspect was really good. That was really well done from a cinematic standpoint. It was action packed. It kept you involved the entire way. It kept your attention. There was no point in the movie where you got bored, anything dragged on, and you felt like falling asleep. I was exhausted going into this movie. I had to squeeze this into my schedule to watch. I wasn't going to watch it because I thought it was going to be a crap movie. And even the entire time was just completely engaged. I left the movie theater feeling more awake than I had felt in the past week. And I was cracking up the entire movie. I was laughing out loud. I had a great time watching it. It just made me feel better after seeing the movie. And I don't think, I get that Ragnarok is supposed to be dark, but, you know, why? Why does it have to be?
Because it's basically Armageddon.
Yeah, and even the movie Armageddon, like that's like going back to the movie Armageddon with Bruce Willis and saying there shouldn't have been comedy in that. Like,
No.
what's wrong with having comedy in a movie?
No, I'm not saying. No, there is a moment where you can have comedy in something dark, but not the entire time. Where if you're supposed to have a serious moment, please have that serious moment. You don't have to crack it with a joke
Why do you have to? Why can't you have comedy?
because then it gets ridiculous.
Well, if it's
It was just-
enjoyable, then what's the problem?
It was over the top.
It was over the top. There was way too much of it.
This wasn't an Ace Ventura film. It wasn't ridiculous, stupid comedy.
Yeah, it was. It really was.
I-
There was moments of, hey, is that your poop? Oh wait, no, those are your eggs. Why would you have to add that in there? What was the point of that?
That is a 2-second quip that definitely could have been cut.
No. Also,
I really don't.
Oh, hold
when
on. Where's this other scene? Oh, by the way, your people are behind you. Oh, hey guys.
Oh, the very ending. Yeah.
Yeah, why couldn't-
those two scenes I just did like.
I mean, like, I can name like a lot of scenes that just made absolutely no sense. Sure, when Valkyrie introduced herself, falling off the ship. Okay, yep, I get it. She's drunk. Ha ha ha. And then she tries to get back up, and all of a sudden she throws her hand on something, and it's a corpse of a ox or bull or whatever. And I'm like, well, that's not funny at all. But people laughed in the theater. I go, that's not funny. That's just gross. Why
it was
would
pretty
you?
gross.
Why is that funny? Why'd you have to throw that in there? Anyway, no, it's just too over the top. There was nothing. I wanted to have a feeling moment when Odin died. I didn't have that moment.
That green screen killed it for me.
And I didn't have that. I didn't have that moment. I wanted to have a moment to actually see the Heroes 3 truly defend Asgard against Hela, and she just massacres them horribly. No, she just throws knives and they just go down. I go, okay, well, obviously these guys don't seem important. That's what that movie made me feel. The only one out of the Heroes 3 just went like, well, here's my opportunity. Smack. Kicked.
He wasn't there. Like, you remember that because Thor did leave him on his own planet
know.
to figure that out. My question still goes to, when did they make Scourge a bitch?
And then, yeah, Scourge.
Scourge was supposed to be, for the comic books standings, he looked dead on there was, like, when you looked at, like, Tony Stark and you went, that looks like Tony Stark from the comic books, and you looked at Robert Downey Jr. and you said that, Scourge was just like that. Like, wow, you look dead on what you're supposed to look like. You are totally not acting anything like what you're supposed to be acting like, though.
That's the Rock guy, right?
Carl Urban.
Kyle Urban, yeah. He was the one with the tattoos on his head, and he had the...
Doc McCoy. Yeah,
yeah,
gotcha.
Doc McCoy. There you go. Yeah, my bad.
The Executioner.
The Executioner, which...
The World of Warcraft character.
More or less.
Effectively. But he was supposed to be like... He's a formidable fight for Thor. He brandishes fire and ice axes. I mean, you've got everything else down for him except for his attitude, because he's a bad guy and you're supposed to make him feel like he's a bad guy, and he didn't really hurt anyone until or do anything really bad until the end, where he cut people off. And even at that time, he still didn't wave an axe. Then I'm supposed to care about his redeeming moment where he pulls out the guns, which obviously had way too much ammo for those style of guns.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Even I was sitting in the theater going, pretty sure you're out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
He had an extended clip.
You didn't like Des
look
and
like
Troy.
Oh my God.
That was so terrible.
It
Oh my
really,
God.
really was. Behold, all my things. And I'm like, okay, what are you doing with this character? And he's supposed to be running around with Enchantress.
Yes, he is.
Marvel's Enchantress,
Marvel's
not DC's
Enchantress.
Enchantress. Let's get that out of the way. Who would, on my world, would have made a better villain. Like, okay, she was a great villain. Hela was a great villain. I'm not going to lie about that. I wish she would probably make a return trip. If she does make a return trip, it'll be interesting.
I think Hela could have been a great villain.
If they didn't write her that she was going to be a one-shot.
They really did not write her or portray her as a great villain. She was completely forgettable.
No, she will be.
I'd agree with that.
She will be very
Just
soon.
like
She has
every other Marvel villain.
Red Skull, damn it, we've covered this. We did an entire cast on this. Red Skull, awesome. But we move forward with her. She had the potential to be, like, in Infinity Wars, something great. She still could. I don't know. Giant flaming sword. Asgardians are pretty fucking durable. Chances are that a war-bound woman has taken, she's taken pretty big things, if you know what I mean. All right, now I got that out of the way.
Well, and with the whole Asgard is its people and not a place,
Yeah, I know that.
people still live.
So does she.
Clearly, she still lives.
I don't think they ever specified that. We had that conversation too last night, and they didn't really specify how strong you are with or without, how close you got to be. They never really specified that. They never really said that as long as you're a hero around them, you can't die. They said that her power was limitless, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she's immortal.
Yes, but it also leaves the door completely and utterly wide open for that. Oh, hey, look who's here! Surprise!
It's Angela.
Literally, she may come back literally because of the sword. She may come back looking like the comic version of Hell, where like half of her is singed and half of her is white.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like they could bring them back. She could come back, but you had a better chance to literally give her that opportunity to make her a mainstay at that point. You know, you could have had like the thing destroyed because Fenrir's still okay because we've seen Loki fall into the abyss and still be fine.
Yeah.
Giant, awesome puppy. I will not argue that Fenrir was too big. I'll agree with you on that one. You made that conversation yesterday. Fenrir, like, why was Fenrir so giant?
In the comic books, he's supposed to be that big.
Yeah, in the comics, but like, comics, he's big doggo.
Well, I mean, he's always been a big dog, but like
comparatively,
he doesn't tower over
Asgardians. Yeah,
He, I don't know. Apparently, in the comic books and the video games, they've been portraying Fenrir as this giant freaking hound, and I was like, wow,
It's just the fell magic she used to
something.
to resurrect.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's
she's a warlock. I knew it. No wonder I went with
Fell
this chick.
magic.
Why is her power though to throw swords?
to manifest,
She's
to
a
actually
Dynasty
create,
Warriors character.
to create those things.
Well, what I think that basically they gave her skill a cooldown, like a 3-second cooldown, and every 3 seconds she just kept spamming Q.
Just
It's a
spam X.
Dynasty Warriors character with the flying daggers, legendary weapon.
Yep, that's what it was.
It's not. It was. I have death. Now, if she literally would have like, Blackheart from Ghost Rider, that power would have made more sense to me. Like instead of like her throwing the daggers, as soon as you get close to her, she literally just can like grab you and like aid you and kill you. That makes me feel death. That makes me feel goddess of death. Not look at what I can do with my hair.
Yeah,
And she throws it up and like it's suave. I'm like, okay. So do you make a helmet or does your hair become your helmet? I'm a little confused on what's going on here.
I didn't understand what the headdress was for either. But
So
they basically made her like
but the headdress
a
makes
stronger warlord is all she ended up
the
being.
headdress makes sense because most women when they fight anyways, and they always have their hair either braided or they have it pulled back so it doesn't get in their face. That was her version of being able to do that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like the design of that one would just
Oh
it was
yeah,
just
she looked
ridiculous.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer up in that bitch right there. She had antlers. Like that was her new superpower is now to skewer you.
She
With
had to
hair
have
beauty
more than
products.
Loki. So Villain Pub can do something with it.
Oh jeez, it's not. It wasn't to me. It's like there was too many things for that for me to actually sit down and enjoy. Like I tried to. I literally walked into. I walked into it with a not a huge preconceived notion, and no matter what I did, I just couldn't. I could not find the joy in this. There was the scenes that brought me joy, and then the scenes where I'm like, all right, so joke, and we're gonna get like serious moment, plot device, joke shit. All right, okay, not a fan of that. Okay, whatever.
Where are the feels? Here's a feel.
Any
No
feel, any feel would have been nice. I wanted to feel something different than just laughter the whole time. That's just a personal preference. Like I said, as I started this whole thing out, you're either gonna like it, you're gonna love it, and that's all personal in the first place. I disliked it. That was just my thing. Trying to think of other things that I did like about it. The Thor with the lightning, I did like the way they did that. The fact that he lost his eye, and like I said, this is spoilers, motherfuckers. You better figure this out. Make sure Nick puts a giant spoiler warning at the beginning of this.
Yeah.
When he lost his eye and then he got his dad's eye patch, awesome, because that is reminiscent of King Thor from the comics. I did like that they did that, because King Thor, like, I'm really hoping that this matures him in this thing, because King Thor don't give no fucks.
Right.
King Thor went down there and beat the crap out of Tony Stark's like Thor Buster outfit in like 2 seconds. It was hilarious.
I did find it kind of kooky in the movies how he kind of like they did like a complete level up twice of Thor. The once while he was fighting Hulk, and then again while he was fighting Hela.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to call her Hel.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like he was getting his ass beat, and then he just had a complete level up moment.
When Obi-Wan Kenobi touched his power.
Exactly.
I didn't like the reshoots they did on a lot of things, though. I just cinematically, I did not like it. I liked I would have liked when in the previews, he was fighting Hela in the city, and that's where the explosion happened on the hammer. This one, it was in horrible CGI Norway. Seriously, if you watch them looking out into that office, you could see the black just around them. It was pretty bad. And then like that's where the explosion happened on the hammer, versus like where it could have been done with her invading. She's going to invade. Let's get back there. They get there. She's already destroyed some shit, and then he throws the hammer, and then it explodes, knocking him off the Eisenrosen bridge, off the Bifrost, and then he goes off into the world. That I would have taken that. That sounded really good. I enjoyed that one. I would have enjoyed that a little bit better. But the cameos, the cameos at the beginning, though, I will give that, because Thor reacted in the best way possible in that situation when he found like, you're Loki. Come on, like honestly.
Yeah, that was actually.
And I have no way of like just telling people you are. So, all right, I'm gonna throw the hammer, hold your head, and you're either gonna transform or I'm just gonna kill you. It's like we know how this is going to end, and Matt Damon, fantastic.
Matt
Damon's acting career right there. Just, I think it hit a point.
It's a weird that Matt Damon, for his small role in a Marvel movie, was way better than Ben Affleck's entire.
Oh jeez. No, seriously. But Matt Damon did better in a Marvel movie than Ben Affleck did from Daredevil.
That's true.
Who else was in that cameo scene at the beginning? Do you guys remember? I completely forgot.
Nobody that I.
Oh, it was.
You had the name. Someone had the name.
There was Chris Hemsworth, his brother.
His brother. That is right.
Oh,
You're
Liam.
right.
Yeah.
Liam. Yeah, and then what's the actor's name that did Jurassic Park? That played the archaeologist in the first one.
Jeff Goldblum.
You're right. Jeff Goldblum was in there. But no, not that. But he was. Wasn't he like?
He was the narrator of the story.
Narrator of the story.
Yeah, I can't remember. I know who you're talking about. He died recently after filming that.
Oh, really?
I think so. That was him. He died of cancer, didn't he?
I don't think that's Bill Pullman.
I can't remember.
Oh, no, I can't remember who it was. It looked like, I know who you're talking about, but it looked like him. It was just, it looked like the guy from Jurassic Park.
I think we were all too focused on Matt Damon being there.
I think we were.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
So, anybody else got anything else they want to flip into it?
I mean, Thanos' ship showing up at the end, that's kind of cool.
Chris thought it was Annihilus, and I would have loved Annihilus.
That would have been better, but they did confirm that it's Sanctuary 2.
Yeah, it's Sanctuary 2.
Is it just me, or was that ship like what looked like Beta Ray Bill's ship?
No.
Are you
That
sure?
was just you.
He was cut.
Beta Ray Bill was cut. He was etched onto the stone, though.
Okay.
Giant Horseman was on the. If you remember, you saw the. Remember they were building the tower and they're putting Hulk up there. In the bottom left, they had a horse face looking guy.
Yeah.
That's Beta Ray Bill.
Bill. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Beta Ray Bill has another form of Thor's hammer, made out of carbonite. Question mark. I never understood how those hammers work.
The dwarves crafted.
Dwarves were many
Fucking dwarves.
Dwarves crafted
in the
for-
comic book. I don't know if you knew about that, but the dwarves apparently were using a lot of stars to make like lightning hammers, and they gave one to Beta Ray Bill. Well, Beta Ray Bill was chosen by one made out of carbonite, which is the one of the home metals for like his world. And as soon as he did it, he's now a horse-faced dude with a winged helmet, and he's got like he looks exactly like a horse-faced orange dude put on a Thor costume. And is as powerful and as lightning, just like Thor. Like that's why it's like Beta Ray Bill or Silver Surfer would have been just as acceptable for the story, because Hulk for the Planet Hulk film, pretty much Hulk goes down there. The main part of Planet Hulk is like was what Hulk does when he gets there. He's like, "You must beat my champion," and the champion is like Beta Ray Bill or Silver Surfer, one depending if you read or if you watch the cartoon.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool because then you get to see him like. That's what's funny about Kron. It's like, Kron got his ass beat by Beta Ray Bill when he went to Earth. So it's like,
Him and Thor beat
No,
that.
it was Thor and then
Thor,
Beta Ray Bill, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, it was such an interesting story. I'm like, I'm hoping they can still do that, but like this still takes away the Sakarsan and like the radioactive blood rebuilding the planet and a couple other things, like key factors for that. Because it was supposed to be Thor or Hulk that like saves Sakaar.
Yes.
Has a wife. Screws it would be Valkyrie in this situation. Gets her pregnant, and then a nuke inside the spaceship, the Quinjet that drops from there, blows up and kills everyone on the planet, except for like in like a very good vicinity, which is like him, like the warp, his wife, his unborn child. Him and the Warbound survive, and then they come to Earth, and then they fuck everything up, and it's great. It's a great story. It's on the level of Civil War, and that's why I'm like, I think that's what my biggest thing that's killing me right now is like. What you just did tells me I will never see like an inch of that one moment, and
No.
it makes me sad.
And we had this conversation the other day. It was quit naming your movies after these big iconic storylines. Just stop, because you're giving everyone
Preconceived notions.
that word.
Well, you're giving people like us. Like obviously, Tony did not have that. I don't know. I believe you didn't have the comic book notion of what was going to happen.
No, I didn't. But here's and this is a problem that's unique to Thor's character and his kind of everything that comes along with using Thor as a character in the Marvel universe. Because Marvel originally, in the very beginning, chose to take from Norse lore and pull Thor, Odin, some Valkyrie, or I guess a Valkyrie.
The other ones are dead.
Okay, because they're not warriors. But hey, whatever. If you want to call it a Valkyrie, that's cool. They took Asgard and Fenrir, and so they took things, right?
Correct.
So, and then they obviously adapted them by quite a bit to fit their Marvel universe. Okay, so here's the problem that's very unique with Thor because they did that. If they choose to pull more from Norse lore, who's to say that they can't do that? It's gonna conflict with some of what the comic books have put out. You can't really be upset about a naming of a film when that name Ragnarok is an event, and that event is kind of followed in the movie based on what happened.
But it's not. It's not just Thor. I'm talking about Marvel in general. With all their Age of Ultron was not Age of Ultron.
Right. It was the weekend of Soul.
What I'm saying
he's
is
saying Thor in general.
No,
you
that's
can't
fine.
include Thor or Ragnarok in that because they have more source material to pull from than just the comics with this one. So if they choose to pull from that other source material, you're gonna get shit like this.
But they didn't pull it from Norse mythology at all. They just went with how they felt.
Well, they did. They pulled the Ragnarok is a term from Norse lore, and instead of destroying, what's the flaming guy's name? I forget his name.
Fire giant.
Sudor?
No. Say it again.
It was like Studer or something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. He actually destroys Midgard, not Asgard.
Yeah, I know.
But they had him destroy Asgard instead. So they changed, just like they changed it when they pulled a lot of stuff for the Marvel comics. They changed a lot of the Norse lore for the movie as well. So I mean, if you're okay with them changing one thing, you have to be okay with them changing anything that they want to change. You either hate it all or you accept it all. But there's no middle ground.
You can change one thing, and it's still conceptually that you change every ingredient in a cake. It's now a pie. It's not a cake. You can't call a pie a cake.
They pretty much did that with Thor in the comic books as well. They changed 90% of the ingredients that they pulled from. So, like I said, if you're okay with them making changes, you got to go with that. You don't really, at that point, you don't really get a choice. Either you have a problem with Thor even existing in the Marvel universe, or whatever they decide to do with whatever they're going to pull from and say this is what we're doing, you don't get a choice.
Yeah, but that movie did not portray anything very well. It did not. Nothing was good about it. I mean, yeah, there were some funny moments. It made me laugh a little bit, but other than that, it was just not a very good movie.
I mean, it portrayed a pretty damn awesome battle between Thor and Hela. I'm sorry.
No, it didn't.
I mean, that was a pretty damn good fight. I mean, she kicked his ass a couple of times. He lost an eye.
That was it. Oh, yeah.
And then, he leveled up. That was cool.
Slash, get your eye.
Okay, I will say one thing. When he had Odin's spear, that hand-to-hand part was...
That was pretty cool,
That was a really good hand-to-hand fight. It just when it started turning completely just one-sided, and then his dad needed to talk to him and lie to him, saying that he's a god when he already told him he wasn't. It just made me just go, all right.
Yeah. No, that wasn't. I'm just.
I've seen this before. I've seen this before.
It's called Junior.
It's called Bleach, and it's his Zanpakuto talking to him.
Thank you. Yes.
All right. Sorry, anime had to do that really quick. But I know you don't get that reference. I know. Neither does Kyle. So, no, wait, Kyle
No, I saw the death battle.
He did see the death battle. He does get that. I wanted to show you that last night, and I completely forgot.
Oh, okay.
They did a death battle between Naruto and Ichigo from Bleach.
Oh, okay.
But they were talking about before was I was wondering, and this is just this thought that came across my mind because you're talking about Norse mythology being one thing, and I'm a huge nerd when it comes to Greek mythology. Mm-hmm. I enjoy I spent my entire 8th grade year just reading Greek mythology books because screw other kids. And like they do have Hercules,
They do.
and they do have Zeus. They do
Ares.
have they have all of them. Like in Marvel. No, they have them all. Hulk has walked up Mount Olympus and then
Yeah.
got his shit wrecked by Zeus. And
Well,
it's
no,
not it's not even like it was like
You say they have all of them, and I'm sure they do have the Pantheon, but I've never seen like Poseidon. I've never seen Hades.
oh yeah,
So-
they keep it to a point where these people they're not like Wonder Woman versions.
No, I'm just saying I've only seen Ares, Zeus, and Hercules. Really,
I think
hear-
you're saying it's safe to assume they have them. All.
No, they have them because they treat them more like the idea of like where you guys are in another realm, like where Thor and all them are in just another realm. Like there is Mountain Olympus and it's there, and they just don't come down because screw mortals. They really got to like Zeus has effectively put his dick in everything that's living. We're good to go now, right? Hulk literally climbs up there to find redemption for his for the Hulk family, and like he has a fight with Zeus, and it's not close. Like that fight was not even like Hulk got one punch in, and Zeus went, "Wow, you got some balls," and then pretty much strapped him to a rock and had carrion pigeons sit there and eat at him all day because he would just infinitely regenerate. Yeah, he wasn't screwing around with that.
so we got the Prometheus
He
treatment.
got the Prometheus treatment.
treatment, yep.
He got the Prometheus treatment. And like, yeah, Zeus wasn't screwing around. Even Hera was like, seriously, honey, just beat the shit out of this mortal and just walk away. This isn't like, it's not a fight you need to take.
You know, that sounds
But, like-
that sounds like what Zeus would do, though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
just-
Zeus is a dick.
Zeus was a beast. But like, you know, you have Hercules in here who Hercules does run around and actually does side with Hulk in certain situations. He's in the New Warriors. Like, do you think we'll get to be able to pull from Greek mythology as well soon? Do you think we'll actually introduce those characters? And if so, do you think we're going to have the same problem we're having now where we have to fight it versus what Greek mythology gives us and what we have those definitions like for different events? Like Hercules in the 13 freaking trials and they completely like botch like number 4 and we're here complaining about that too.
I mean, I think that's all based on what you are able to reconcile with yourself, what you're willing to reconcile with what they're gonna do. Because yeah, they're gonna if they introduce the Greek mythology stuff, they're gonna fuck some shit up.
Do you think The Rock could have just played Hercules and we could have just made him a Marvel guy right there?
The
was
only
actually
reason I'm
thinking
saying
the
no to this is because of the animated movie. They've already done Hercules. I don't see.
Oh, you mean Disney animated?
Yes.
Okay, my bad. I'm like Marvel hasn't done anything like that.
No,
But
Disney,
Disney
has.
has.
I got you.
Since
You know,
it's Disney Marvel, I don't see them introducing Hercules because I think that would take away from what their audience already knows of or knows as Hercules and would lessen that.
well, we've already made live action versions of everything else. Why don't we just add a live action version of this and throw it into the MCU?
Because they're not going to make a Hercules musical MCU movie.
Oh my lord, that'd be amazing. That'd be great. I would love to see someone like The Rock running around. I can go the distance.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
You know he'd do it.
It'd be the other Hemsworth.
Liam?
Yes.
We get Liam Hemsworth to do it at that point?
Or the other one.
Jeez.
There's like 3 of them.
Chris, what about you? Do you think we'd have a problem? Do you think like because I mean Thor was on par strength with Hulk.
Yeah.
Or my bad. Hercules was on par strength with Thor. Like he actually choked out Thor in one comic. It was great. He couldn't lift the hammer, so he just choked him out until he passed unconscious. Because it's where Thor's a brawler. You gotta think about Grecian tactics, Grecian wrestling. Like he actually had actual fighting styles.
Yeah,
to roll off of.
Hercules has hand-to-hand combat martial arts.
Did they use oil?
Oh yes, they did.
Probably.
More than likely, if I had to guess. But what do you think?
Could work. I mean, honestly, I don't. Never really liked Hercules anyway, so
Oh come on, the dude had like a burly beard. He was breaking chains. It was awesome.
yeah, I still didn't care for him.
Insightful, buddy. Insightful.
What can I say?
What about you? Do you think we'd have a problem?
Well, as deep as 2 inches, man.
I would. Well, I mean,
That's what Crystal told us. Oh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You don't
I'm
want to get
sorry.
recorded getting punched, do you?
No, not today.
All right then.
We
okay.
love
Yes.
you. Calm down.
You won't do it. Turn it to the
Do not
Hulk.
no balls him. Do not no balls
Turn
him.
it to the Hulk. You want? We need you.
Go ahead.
We need you.
What'd you think? I'm sorry about that. I couldn't help
I
that. You
know.
left that wide
Yeah, I
open.
know.
that's fine. Legal purposes for Disney?
No, I mean, like, do you
Or
think we'd
just
have a
create-
problem with like them screwing up a whole bunch of storylines if they went the Greek route?
Probably, yeah, because they would have to like dim down his high sex drive because Hercules is like like one of
Well,
the,
the Marvel version of it doesn't
yeah.
isn't that problem. I mean, I just want to see. I want to see like I want to see like every time it'd be like a sitcom almost. Like Hercules would go up to like Mount Olympus and go, I need to speak with Dad, and he's like coming up from he sees himself coming up from the mountain too. What's going on, guys? Zip 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 up the pants. I wasn't doing anything.
oh jeez.
Come on, Zeus screwed everything. We know it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would enjoy it. When like
I would, I would be interested. I would be interested.
That'd be a really cool theory. That'd be a great one. Like Thor versus Hercules, have like an actual like Norse Greek crossover.
Yeah.
Even if they did it animated, I would roll with it.
I mean, Hercules and Thor do call each other cousins, so I don't know if they're actually related. I just think the reason they say that is because they both understood, like, oh yeah, my dad's a god, your dad's a god. We're kind of cousins. By the way, I think we're cousins because I'm sure my dad has fucked somebody
in your family at some point.
At some point,
Zeus had to have made a trip over to frickin' Asgard at some point.
Both Odin and Zeus are
Horrible.
notorious for that.
See, I would give it though. I actually want to see an Odin. I would like to see an Odin versus Zeus fight because as like I said, Zeus made like effectively the Hulk his bitch. Like, Odin has like gone blow to blow with Thanos before without the Infinity Gauntlet.
yeah.
On the Eisen Rosen Bridge, on the Bifrost of all places, Thor or Odin went like just beat the hell out of Thanos. Just like they have like really put the power of those two like on check, going like. If you stay away from like Beyonders and like things like that, and One Above Alls, like these two, Zeus and Odin these are your top tier when it comes to actual power. And so I would love to see like that crossover, just even back in a comic book again, like the New Age version of it.
I'd be happier with it as a comic.
I don't know, animated cartoon would be nice. I want to see because
Marvel doesn't have the greatest track record.
I know I want to see them bring that back up.
So you're
Personally.
thinking the crossover would do it?
Oh, they could try. I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
The mouse takes over.
Oh, jeez.
They're gonna finish it with a dance off.
He's like, but we must all worship the real deity, and then you see the mouse grown. You can do the Mickey Mouse voice. I can't. Yeah. Hey, everybody! That's it right there. You see Odin and Zeus just kneeling the whole time.
Bow before me. Bow before your god.
All right.
That was scary good.
We have an entire cast him arguing with a llama. Go find it. Oh God.
So glad I wasn't in on that one.
I was dying. I was laughing. I was really hoping we'd get something constructive out of that one. It just didn't happen.
No.
All right, so I'll just go ahead and do a rundown here. 1 to 10, what do you think?
I'm giving it a 2.
3.
5.
I gave it a 9/10, man. I really
9 out of 10?
9 or a 10. Yeah.
Oh, 9 or 10. He said 9 out of 10. I'm definitely going to go about a 5 or a 6 on this one. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever watched. I still have watched Iron Man 3.
That's okay.
Okay.
I can
Things you
make
just
the
can't
arguments for it to
unsee.
be part of our tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we could all make the arguments on that. It just, to me, it wasn't great. Anybody got some last minute points they want to put out there? Anyone?
I'm surprised that
Okay.
you guys didn't like the reference from Valkyrie being Scrapper 142 in the name. Because that name came from, they were referencing the Hulk issue 142, where Valkyrie makes her first introduction into the Marvel Universe.
That is true. She did make that reference.
I'm just surprised nobody.
Oh, no, we
actually
didn't bring it
already.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Chris,
that you
where were
didn't
you,
like
Hulk?
it.
Screaming eternally.
I mean, that was definitely a little nugget straight for you guys.
And
That was a bit of a nugget.
that wasn't a bad. That was not a bad Easter egg. I'll give them that one.
I couldn't tell you any comic book
counts.
issue of where anyone was introduced, so
I mean, on that one too. For her, I mean, I would have put it at 142, but I wouldn't have remembered off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's kind of like something we would have to like. If we,
I mean,
if we would have gone through it again and just kind of caught it, and then one of us actually reread Valkyrie, I'd be like, "Oh, issue 142."
Well, and no, it would have been Thor. 142.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's.
I got you. No, it would just it would have been something that like.
I thought you guys would have liked that nugget.
Oh no, I
fact that they
I
had
didn't
it.
go back through and read all the Easter eggs that I would have possibly missed. That was probably one that for me that flew under the radar that I just completely missed. I mean, I didn't get a chance to look at
Well,
the.
maybe your 5% will go up to 25 if you do.
No.
if it's an Easter egg, that's only like maybe 1%.
So the 5 just turns into a 6. Maybe.
man. It was like I said, it's not the best thing I've ever watched. If I'm going to show it to other people, and maybe my opinion will change. I doubt it. I doubt I'll go completely crazy ham for it.
I will say it's at least worth one watch.
Oh yeah, I say go watch it. Go watch it because, like I said, it's going to be two things. You either watch the previews and you loved it, or you watch the previews and you hated it. Go see it because your opinion can be swayed like instantaneously. Because my first preview of Thor Ragnarok was like, yeah, Thor Ragnarok. Got halfway through the trailer. Hulk, yes. Got really through the trailer. I'm like, why is everything in Technicolor? I'm not.
What's up with Willy Wonka's music?
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, you brought up a point.
Why did Thor scream like a little bitch 3 times in that movie? And I don't mean like just scream like a manly yell. No, he literally high pitched squealed
All within in a 10-minute span.
Yeah.
Like going through the Disney thing. That I think that's a reference right there.
Yeah.
Then you got when Stan Lee was going to cut his hair.
Yeah,
That was
and,
just-
and then when Hulk, when he was like doing the sun is going down, pet the Scarlet
Johansson, yeah.
the Scarlett Johansson style, like Black
Yeah.
Widow, petting Hulk's hand, and Hulk just grabs him and starts winging him around. You heard him yelp again, and I'm like, that what?
Civil liveries of the character. You have to be willing to accept anything.
How did Chris Hemsworth
Get that high of a voice.
You know,
He just looked
or
at
even
someone and said,
agree to that.
he just like said, we're going to have Lou Ferrigno on the scene. I need you to punch me in the dick, like right when I need to see
there you go.
That's how Lou's still getting money from Marvel. But no, I said the one person who didn't script any acting career on this one was Black Widow. Did a great job. Best Avenger.
Strange did great.
Oh man,
Oh, yeah,
Strange
Strange did
was
fantastic.
Oh,
The
man.
addition of the gloves was nice.
Of course, that was what he was missing from the ensemble. The way he was speaking was. Oh my Lord. I will still laugh at that. I've been falling for 30 minutes. I'm like, and there's Norway, and we're done here. Like that was a great way to close the door on a conversation. Just
Fangirls rejoice. Benedict Cumberbatch and Tom Hiddleston, same screen. With Chris Hemsworth.
for all of like 3 seconds. Enough time
just
for Tom
instant-
Hiddleston to threaten Benedict Cumberbatch at that point.
Yep.
Enough time for them to hit pause.
But I mean, that was great. He was filling up the beer. Like it was the Thor. It was the end of what?
It was Doctor Strange.
It was the
That-
end of Doctor Strange's like freaking there's after credit
credit
scene,
scene.
which you're glad you actually got like the whole like I'm happy like that's an after credit scene that got elaborated on. Because you got that part, and I'm like, okay, so this is how he meets the Avengers. Oh, that's pretty cool. And then you took that shot for shot and then added onto it. I'm like, oh, I can deal with that. The whole, we broke up. It was a mutual breaking up itch. I'm like, really?
Yeah, again, that just goes back to whether or not you're okay with the character development that they've had to play and up to that point.
Like
But
the whole breaking up thing was
She
like
doesn't want him to to see her going through cancer treatment.
with Mjolnir gone, I don't know if we can get that. We would need the whole event from like the crossover and all the Thors and everything.
That
But
could
go
be an
ahead.
after credit scene.
I did have a question
So
about
the Secret
Doctor
Wars, huh?
Strange.
Go ahead.
When did he get that proficient?
Oh, this
Because
was
holy crap!
you got to remember this happened right after Iron Man 2. Like okay, the Doctor Strange movie happened right after Iron Man 2, so he's had time.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, no. That's when
Yes.
they placed Doctor Strange.
Oh,
they went.
okay.
This happened right after Iron Man 2, and he's had
So he's had
up
a few
till
years.
now. Oh yeah.
Okay, because like I'm like Doctor Strange wasn't that long ago. And he could barely
We all had
manage
that-
his own feet.
We had
during that
we all
movie.
had the same question too when we saw him refilling beer magically without even a thought, and we're like, okay, how did he
It's
get
just,
good?
just transporting and just
It's
knowing
easier
all
to
the
figure
spell
out the
lists.
Link timeline than it is the Marvel timeline.
You're probably right.
Homecoming was off on that
It's
too.
called Marvel Movie Magic.
Yes.
PFM people, pure fucking magic, and that's all Doctor Strange. But we're all waiting for the big thing here still, the one thing that we all really want. Doctor Strange Constantine crossover.
Yes.
Oh, you don't know Constantine. He's one of the okay. When you think about magic, Tony, magic is the only place you're going to find it in DC. Is literally the Sanctum Sanctorum, which is
Marvel.
at this point. In Marvel, you're only going to find it in Doctor Strange. He's the only real magic user we've got, because you got rid of the alien rings that were on Mandarin. But you go to DC, on the other hand, there's a plethora of those motherfuckers. So we just want to take Doctor Strange and move him over, because Constantine is a British asshole that everyone hates. He's like, literally, we're gonna go see a guy, but I think he hates me. Really? Someone hates you? Wow, would have never thought it. It's literally a response from one of the characters in the book. Someone who doesn't like you. Wow, I'm coloring me surprised. And like, we just want to take him, who's had to deal with Tony Stark in the past, and put him with Constantine for like 5 minutes, and just see how it all would work out. You have to watch Justice League Dark to see how much of an asshole that Constantine really is. I could see him doing it though. It'd be great. But anything else? Anyone want to tag anything else on the end here? Awesome, because I just rambled. I am good at that.
You're fine.
You're fine. Chris is like, I fell asleep like 20 minutes ago.
Chris has hit his quota of like 30 words for a cast, so we're good.
Yeah.
Mark is less red in the face, past the beard.
I freaking.
At least it make you feel better that we got Justice League coming up in a week.
Oh god.
Okay, sure.
We got Justice League probably Thursday. Anyone? Justice League Thursday. Anyone?
Yeah, yeah.
I know
More
you're.
likely.
I know you're at work.
I can't guarantee where I'll be, so
We'll come back with a Justice League review on that one. But I'm hoping, because this week was supposed to be character introductions, when the day that this cast drops, the last metal Dark Knight should be introduced. The one who laughs. The greatest insult to Bruce Wayne's actual history, which is going to be him becoming the Joker in a dark multiverse universe. And it's like the dark everyone who's read metal gets the idea of the dark multiverse, and it's great. And they've had them all. I have the pins sitting up here where he's become one member of the Justice League, and now you got to get to know himself, where it's going to be him being the Joker, and it's going to be the last introduction. And then I'm going to sit here. I'm going to try to get 7 people who want to read one of these tie-ins, and just introduce one character. Take a cast, introduce one character. Pick the one you want. Pick up a button. I'll hand the books off. Read it and introduce it, because you have the Batman Who Drowned, Dawnbreaker, the Merciless, the Destroyer, the One Who Laughed, Aquaman. Was it the One Who Drowned?
You already said that.
That was the first one.
Oh,
you said.
my bad. Not the One Who Drowned. I did. Oh, my bad. Who else was it? The Murder Machine and Red Death. So there's 7 of them. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a great time.
tune in next time.
7. Yeah, damn right. Tune in fucking next time. You motherfuckers should be tuning in every week. I mean, excuse me.
Don't make us bring out the mouse.
We'll bring. We don't have the mouse.
Really?
Oh, we don't? Damn.
That would be nice. We'd have
That would
money.
be nice if we
Oh
had that.
God, we would have money.
Disney
All right.
money.
I don't think we would have bashed Thor then if we did.
I want to.
No, I still would have.
Oh, of course. I still want to thank, like I said, I put up a video about the people doing the Extra Life program for raising money for people in children's hospitals, for helping people raise money. And that was done by Gamers Fighting Depression and Anxiety Gaming. Oh, Gamers Fighting Depression and Anxiety Gaming. They were here before. They talked with us with Dylan. We're going to be attempting to do one of those ourselves. It was November 11th is like that Saturday is usually the day that they hold their national event. We have a bunch of people. We're going to try to do it on a different day where it's 24 hours just of gaming. Well, they're playing Destiny right now. We'll find something. We've got Heroes. We've got Divinity. We've got Diablo. We've got a whole bunch of stuff. If I get really bored, I got League. if I want to alienate everyone, I've got League. I've got Heroes of the Storm. I'll get WoW. It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out. But stay tuned for that. That's definitely on our list. Our D&D game has taken a backseat. We've explained that to you guys before. We'll be getting that back up and going here shortly. I want to thank everyone who came on again today. Tony, once again, thank you for showing up. Thank you for giving us your opinion. Thank you for being the candid viewer on this one.
Gotta love being the token guy.
You're almost as dark as Chris. We got the Tolkien white guys coming for Black Panther. That's gonna be great.
I don't think we're allowed to cast on that.
Looking forward to that.
That's when I get like Sunny Sama, and I get like Kale, I get Miles, and I get like Arrow, and I get like all my black friends to go, look, they're here. You tell us about Black Panther. I'm gonna hide underneath my desk. All right, so that'll be everything for the day. This is Bruce War Chief Hoover.
Mark the Dwarf Kokiachik.
Question for Vasquez.
And Kyle Darth Cooch Kokenbecker.
And once again, thank you, Tony Vitero Lukasik.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
And yep, I don't got to sign off this time. Peace.
Ha ha.